Hi, my name is Ryan Lane, and welcome to my review channel. So for today's movie, I will be reviewing The Black Phone, starring Mason Thames, Madeline McGraw, and Ethan Hawke. Anyway, so this film takes place in North Denver circa 1978, and Mason Thames plays Finney, and Madeline McGraw plays Gwen. They are they're teenagers living under the care of an abusive father, and Finney, he is a creative child. Like, he's good, like he has a fascination with rockets, and yet he's rather fearful of the bullies in his life, whether they be the bullies at home or the bullies at school. And he sort of has to rely on a student by the name of Robin, quite the fighter, for protection. And Gwen, she is Finney's sister, and she has supernatural prophetic dreams, yet she doesn't quite know how to interpret them. However, she ultimately is forced to learn how to interpret them when Finney is kidnapped by a man simply known as the Grabber. I think his name gets name dropped at one point during the film, but it's so brief, and the character is referred to as the Grabber simply throughout the film, so I'm just going to refer to him as such for the review. Anyway, the Grabber, he is played by Ethan Hawke, and he is really good. And despite being stuck under a white, almost Greek theater mask, like the ones they'd wear in theater at some point for a good chunk of the film, Ethan Hawke manages to be really expressive with his eyes and with his body language as well throughout the film. And he is great at playing a man who enjoys playing a sadistic game, both physically and mentally, with the children he kidnaps and keeps in his basement. Anyway, and so most of the film, what it entails is Finney, who is kidnapped. Sorry, spoiler alert, it occurs early on. Anyway, Finney is kidnapped, and what he has to do is he has to manage to escape. And he does so through the titular black phone, which is thankfully never over-explained. Basically, the film explains that it is a phone that enables him to communicate with the past victims of the Grabber who died and were killed by him. And so the great part of this film is watching Finn sort of take the advice from these victims and try to use it to escape from the Grabber. This leads to some brilliant set pieces, especially one involving a combination lock. It's like really good, uses good cinematography with shallow focus, and to help emphasize the danger lurking in the background, even though you can't see it. It's a really great moment. Also, Gwen, as I said earlier, she has prophetic dreams. However, she doesn't know how to interpret these dreams because thankfully, they don't serve up easy answers. And what I enjoy about them is how even when she and the audience, to that extent, do acquire answers, they're not always the answers that come in the way you expect. And also, these dreams are rendered in not an 8mm footage, and it lends it a really eerie feeling. Also, and at times it feels like you're watching the personal home movies of these children. And speaking of these children, they are really good. They have unique personalities, and so it makes it feel all the more tragic knowing that these children have died. Also, again, as I sort of said earlier, the cinematography is on point. It uses wide shots at a long distance from the characters to emphasize their isolation, and it uses shallow focus to emphasize danger lurking in the background. Also, I really like the film's way of visual storytelling, the fact that the passage of time has occurred. Just simply by using child lost posters, at one point, it's pretty blink and you'll miss it, but for those who pay attention, you'll be rewarded with a timeline of how long this the grabber has been terrorizing this neighborhood. I really like that detail. Also, the gore. The gore is on point. It is like disturbing, and like it just, you will wince in your seat. And the scares, while the scares are jump scares, but they're really well done jump scares, because I've experienced jump scares before, like for example, in the 2018 Winchester movie. That film had jump scares and they were awful. Like, you could tell they were coming from a mile away. But with the Black Phone, they always come as a genuine surprise. Like, oh, I really enjoy that about this movie. So with all that in mind, thanks to great cinematography, a solid cast, and supernatural elements that are explored yet never over-explained, I will be giving The Black Phone 4 out of 5 stars. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day.